So let's try a short comparison of the Nanohone 200, which I just used for the first time. So the surface remained a little dark. Doesn't feel loaded, but some metal particles left there. And this is Bester 220, which I have used for some time already, so it doesn't have the full thickness anymore. And see how they perform on this mono steel blade, which is 1.2442 steel. Still just at I think here up is 120 grit belt, below even a little bit less. I'm just trying to see what kind of speed I get on these two stones in comparison. So let's start on the Bester. I have the Bester mounted on a plastic base and lacquered from outside, so it doesn't lose its water quite as quickly as it tends to do so when it comes from the shop. This steel is at approximately 60-61 hardness, and we can see here close to the edge Bester basically in 20 moves removed the scratches from 120 belt close to the edge, not completely. So the other side. Very quick and dirty comparison. Nanohone also managed to remove scratches, so I would say speed wise they are comparable, which is a good sign because the Bester is fairly fast for a stone of this of the grit, but it is much more muddy. The Nanohone doesn't wear much. Finish is similar. It's not about the finish here. Whether one is faster than the other by 30% is yet to be tested. I don't want to. I will see more. I will work more on this knife, on these two stones. But my impression is the Nanohone is about as fast. Might be faster, might be a little bit slower, hard to say. But it doesn't dish quite as much, and will give a little bit more precision maybe when trying to get some exact lines or shinogi or something like that, or not to lose too much of the cutting edge when working close to the edge. So it looks like a stone that could be quite usable. It would appear the Shapton 220 may not be quite as fast as the other two stones. Comes to dishing, I think it will be comparable to the Nanohone. Feels similar, all three feel somewhat similar. Bester, it feels coarser, not huge load of a difference there. Scratch pattern is also as what one would expect. All these stones are basically the same grit. the other, just to get a feel of it. Sorry for the cooking sounds in the background. I know, the Shapton actually feels finer when I'm going from one to the other stone immediately. And dishing, I don't know, the mud is not so, maybe, I don't know, maybe even dish is less. The mud looks less coarse than what I get from the other two stones. Also, scratch pattern is what I would expect. Hard to say, really. Loses water not quite as quickly, so the mud remains thinner. I'll take the bester again. This is a pretty amateur video. I'm not trying to make a sales pitch or anything. I'm just curious which of these three stones is the best for the job I needed to do, and it is finish grinding of knives on stones just behind the edge. I didn't plan to remove all the scratches here on a stone, it would take for ages. I have a belt grinder for that, but I like to fine-tune the geometry and test the knife, how it cuts before I actually finish the blade. I'm now basically just playing around. I don't need to go this high on stones. This is a coarse work. I usually don't flatten the best, I just try to use the whole surface. It's not that much more muddy than Nanohone, but a little bit it is. So, still probably the best. You get most of your buck with the bester, I suppose. Here, so the Nanohone does feel dishing so much slower, I don't know. Not quite sure about that. It'll be one long boring video. Let's go to the Nanohone again. I bought the glass 220 basically for traveling, and I wanted to have a stone to repair knives at my relatives' places, and they're in full shape. I wouldn't need it otherwise. Really hard to say about the dishing, because the Nanohone somehow feels harder, but the mud keeps coming up as well, so not really sure whether it's actually, it feels this dish is less. Once the bester gets a little bit more muddy, then the mud starts really flowing. I didn't get that much mud flowing over the stone when I worked the Nanohone for a few more minutes. I'm going to cut it here and yeah, do some conclusion. So my preliminary impressions about these three stones. The bester is a fast stone. I think it wears fastest of these three. Since it is so thick, it's actually the best value of these three stones, there is no question about it. I have used it for a long time. It maybe lost not about 10 millimeters from the height or so, since the stone is I think 50 millimeters thick when it's new. It's muddy. It's not strength isn't when you try to keep thinning a single bevel knife. I want to keep a clean shinogi, or you are thinning your edge, and you must take care that you don't cut into your edge when you are thinning. Don't cut into your edge because you have so much mud around. Sorry. The Nanohone feels harder. I think it's less muddy. I think it will dish somewhat less fast. I will save it over next couple of things. Made a good impression on me. I think speed-wise they are in the same class. I'm still not sure whether one is faster than the other, but I think it will be a little bit better for more critical work. It also feels very grippy when you touch it. It actually feels grippier a little bit than the Bester. The glass is interesting stone. I think it dishes the least of the three. It is the thinnest, of course, as well. It feels not quite as fast and not quite as coarse as the other two. Like this was, if someone would tell me this is like 300 stone, I could believe it. I think it's going to be great for travel work, because as I said, with this kind of thickness, if one uses the stone a lot, it will be gone soon. If this is slower, I think again it will be good for more precise work. Feel-wise on stone, when you sharpen on them, I don't find a huge difference there. This one is a little bit harder, and this one is a little bit softer. That's all about it. They are actually, at least here, in somewhat comparable price category, plus minus a couple of euros. So I think these are three great stones, and yeah, I will have this one for travel, this one for more critical work, and this one for bulk of thinning or thinning and repairs. Yeah, that's about it. Few quick words about the Suehiro stone. It was sold as 100 grade. There's writing on it 80. Not sure whether it actually is meant to be grit. It is a fairly narrow stone. As you can see, it's very coarse. It's much coarser than these guys, and I am actually not liking it for knife thinning. I tried it on this blade I'm working on, which I just left the rusted just a few minutes ago, and it left really. This stone needs a lot of pressure to release particles. When it does, then they really grind, but they leave super deep scratches. So I would rather use Atoma 140 than this. I would say this is a good stone for coarse work on an axe or something, but I wouldn't use it on knives much, because it doesn't cut too quickly. You have to really go over certain threshold with pressure, and it's a lot of pressure you need to apply with a knife in your hand. So I think this stone is a lot better left for coarse work on some gardening tools than on kitchen knives or outdoor knives.